Brand new from Samsung. This thing was just announced about 12 hours ago. I've got my hands on it, the Galaxy Z Flip 6. Let's take a closer look. Check it before you wreck it. What's up, geeks? I'm Kirk. I know, there's a lot of videos out there reviewing the Flip 6 already on YouTube. That's not what I'm gonna do. What I wanna do is unbox this thing and take you along with me for that experience of opening the box, pulling it out, and getting a hands-on for the first time ever. And then I'm gonna power this up and take you through that process of setting the Flip 6 phone up for the first time. So let's get this thing over to the table and get this unboxed.
In all its glory, here it is, the Galaxy Z Flip 6 in the box, which has become a standard Samsung phone box. Pretty thin box, a lot like what we're seeing with the iPhone, because there's really not a lot in here aside from the phone. You've got your barcodes. Silver Shadow is the color that we have here. On the back, you've got some legal jargon. You can see the seal is already broken on this box, as Samsung popped a SIM card in here for us before they sent it our way. And yeah, otherwise that's it on the box. So let's pop the top and see what's inside. Ooh, check it out. That is a cool looking phone. Nice looking reveal as well. You can see they've got kind of a matte sticker covering that screen on the front. Let me pull the tab here and pull the flip phone out. So this side of the box has literally nothing in it. It's just kind of a molded area for the phone to sit. On the other side of the box, let me set the phone down here. Looks like we've got a cardboard inset. So there's the SIM card, the T-Mobile SIM card, as I mentioned, that Samsung put in here for us to test out before sending it our way. And what you've got in here is probably some very basic instruction manual stuff. All right, we'll slide this out, and what do we got inside? As expected, we've got a cable. We got a USB-C cable. Very, very simple. No charging cube. They don't ship those anymore with Samsung phones. And we've got a quick start guide, terms and conditions. Again, the very expected stuff. You can see hidden inside the box here is a SIM ejector tool. They really don't make this easy to get to, but there is a way to slide this out to get access to the SIM ejector tool. If you're like me, you've got a gazillion of these things sitting around. You can always use a small paper clip as well, but of course it's nice to have a SIM ejector tool included in the box. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way so we can focus on what everybody wants to see, which is the phone itself, the Flip 6, as we take a closer look. And first matter of affairs here is to always remove the plastic covering the screen. Are you ready? Your moment of zen?
Yeah!
So rewarding. I love that moment. And look how liquidy smooth it is. You notice the seam in the middle, or the hinge in the middle. Ooh, removing the plastic from the other screen as well, which is pretty big. The seam in the middle of the screen on the inside of the Flip 6 is a lot less prevalent than in previous models. I noticed that right off the bat. And so take a look closer, guys. You can see the hinge here as I close the phone. A lot more of a square design. You've got your power key, your volume key. You've got a USB-C port there, as well as a speaker. You've got a bunch of little microphone holes. You've got your SIM card slot on the other side. And yeah, this thing is very cool looking. Similar in many ways to the other flip phones from Samsung. There's your 50 megapixel camera as well as your 12 megapixel camera, and the screen is there as well. That screen, by the way, is 720 by 748. I'll pop this open again. Take a look at the screen and see this rubber bumper around the outside. That's kind of interesting. So when the phone closes, it's not the screen closing on itself, it's that rubber bumper kind of closing on the rubber bumper, almost protecting the screen. So a little bit of a nice design change. I don't remember seeing that too much with the 5, maybe just more prevalent with this model. Comment below, do you think that's more prevalent with this? Because you can see here when I sandwich it shut, how it's that rubber seal, that rubber gasket almost, that closes on itself. Definitely a smart design to protect the screen itself and maybe not fold the screen quite as much as it was folding it with the previous model. Okay, powering up the phone. I'll set this down. As we know, these phones can take a good 30 seconds to a minute to start powering up. Samsung Galaxy logo on the screen right there, and we'll get right into it. So the screen itself, by the way, is 2640 by 1080, so it's a 1080p screen, although probably wider than a standard 1080p screen, but nonetheless, you get the point in terms of resolution. It's not a 4K screen, it's 1080. I'll go through some of these settings, connecting to my Wi-Fi. This is all very basic. basic stuff. If you've ever set up a Samsung phone before, then you know that this is all very, very simple. And I will say the Samsung phones, I feel like I can get through the initial setup of a Samsung phone almost faster than the Google Pixel phones. I feel like the Google Pixel phones, for some reason, take a little bit longer to set up. Maybe there's a few extra screens in there, but I can get through this pretty fast. So I just entered my Wi-Fi. It's now connecting to my internet. I'm not going to copy from another phone. I'm just going to log in with my Google account to get this set up. Now that we've got it connected to Wi-Fi, there is a SIM card in here, so I guess I didn't need the Wi-Fi. But let me go ahead and put in my Google credentials. Taking a closer look real quick at that rubber seal around the outside of the screen, you can see the screen protector, the rubber seal. It is interesting to see how they've designed this. Okay, back to it, putting in my Google credentials, getting logged in here. There you go. Once logged in, it's loading up Google services. If you're on Wi-Fi, it's probably going to be a little bit faster, but this works over a cell phone network as well. It's essentially going to connect into my Google account. You'll have to agree to a bunch of stuff, decide if you want to do backup, install updates, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into that. I'll set up a PIN real quickly just so there's some level of security on this phone. I've got my PIN set up. It wants to know if I need Hey Google turned on, which of course I will allow. Access your assistant without unlocking the device. I think that's useful, so I will allow that as well. Getting your phone ready. This is the Samsung account setup, and you don't need to do this. You can actually skip right through this if you want, but it is useful for the Samsung apps that are baked into the phone to have a Samsung account, and you can actually use your Google login to set up a Samsung account if you want to. That, I think, makes it as easy as possible. All right, so I have to agree to some Samsung services. Ooh, do I want light mode or dark mode? Always dark mode. And not only do I like it better, but the darker screen does conserve a little bit of battery, especially with these newer screens, these AMOLED screens. There's my home screen. We are logged in. Let me take a closer look at the screen itself. As I mentioned, the resolution on this 2640 by 1080. It's a nice looking screen, guys. I mean, Samsung with these AMOLEDs, they just do such a good job. It really is a beautiful screen on this thing. There's your selfie camera. I'll close this up, and I want to show you the screen on the outside. So this is something that has gotten better and better over the past couple of revisions with these Samsung flip phones. You can take pictures with the screen, but you can also access apps and widgets right here on the outside of your phone. The thing I love the most is that you can actually read emails and see text and even respond to text quickly without ever opening up your phone. I feel like for me, it forces me to use my phone a little less. I don't open the phone and use the phone in full mode as much as I would with a normal phone, I feel. So here you go. You can add multiple widgets onto this screen at once. It's kind of giving me a little tutorial. Swipe up to go to your home screen. Touch and hold to change. Touch and hold a little longer. So let's see. Oh, that's cool. So this is like changing the theme on the outside screen. There you can slide down from the top to get your settings, just like you do with a normal Android phone. Man, this tutorial does not want to respond. Come on, swipe up, swipe up. No swiping, swiper. Oh, there we go. All right. Tap a design to set it on the cover screen. All right, so let me pick one. Dogs, no. I like that one. Yellow, cool. Yeah. Okay, let's go back. No, not that dog with the sunglasses. It's ridiculous, really. Come on. I'm not going to put that on my phone. I like yellow. Matches my shirt today. Oh, go to that one. I like that. That's kind of simple and classic. That's the kind of design that I would use. So let's pop back in. And if I'm swiping up, that does nothing. I think I got to swipe. I got to unlock this thing. How do I do that? Oh, there we go. No, that's swiping to my settings. It takes some getting used to, for sure, if you don't use this on a regular basis. Let me punch in my code again, and let's see here. Okay, so now we're back onto the widget screen. We've got one widget set up. If I hold my finger down, I can slide over. It talks about adding multiple widgets. Let me just add some widgets here. You can see these are the options included with the phone. You've got a weather widget, a contacts widget, a Wall Street widget, recent calls, looks like a photo widget. So let me just add a recent call widget, and I can add a couple of these. I can add a bunch of these. So I'll add another one, and let's put the weather widget in there. I find that super useful. I would always use that. Let me add the Wall Street one, the stocks widget as well. And there you go. So now you can swipe back and forth between these widgets on the home screen. I just love having access to this smaller little screen. It's going to be, you can kind of pinch out to zoom out. The smaller screen is going to be more battery efficient. It's going to be faster. It doesn't require kind of powering up the whole screen. And I'm telling you, if you've ever used one of these flip phones, I found that I use my phone a little bit less when I'm using this thing. So there you go, back onto the screen in the middle. You can see the settings, very typical Samsung settings menu on this, or also, getting closer to Google's Pixel experience to some extent. I do feel like they're very similar, although Samsung has their touches. And if you use a Samsung, you know there's Samsung touches, but this really is a beautiful device, guys. Let me kind of just show you a couple different angles. This is the back of the phone. Look at that silver colored finish on the bottom. That is really cool. I feel like this hinge is probably the best yet. Just my initial feel on this thing. It feels really great, nice and tight. The screen doesn't have that little divot as much in the middle. Let me take a closer look for you at the hinge itself, because always so much talk about the hinge, how it folds. The only problem I've had with these phones in the past is that after about a year, the screen protector starts peeling up from that seam in the middle. So we'll see if it happens with this one. But when this phone is open, you almost cannot even see that little bump in the middle. And maybe that'll change over time with use. But I got to tell you, this feels like the most solid design on the Galaxy Flip phone series yet. I'm impressed out of the box. And so I'm looking forward to putting this thing through its paces, and I hope it holds up because it feels like one of the best folding phones on the market yet.
I want to know what you guys think. Throw your comments below. I read every single comment. I reply to every single comment as well. Is this going to be your next phone? How do you think this compares to the Flip 5 or the other folding phones from the competition like Motorola? I've got more videos on the Flip 6 coming up. I've got an unboxing on the Fold 6 coming up as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tech it before you wreck it. I'm Kirk.